Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. My name is Megan, and if you're new to my channel, I am so glad that you decided to stop by. What we're going to do is look around the entire garden. Now, I've been gone for about a week, and I feel like I came back to an entirely different garden, but it has grown so beautifully. There's food growing, there's just lushness everywhere, of course some bug insect pressure, which is expected, but I cannot wait to share with you all. So let's get started. All right, friends, well, the first thing I want to do before we go outside and I show you the garden, I wanted to show you the rest of the garlic and onion that I harvested. So this is garlic that I harvested a while back from one of my garden tours, but also one of my GREENSTALK garden tours. So this has been here in my garage. I have an attached garage, so it doesn't get too unbearably hot, but this seems to do very well. But I'm going to be preserving these soon, so they're not in here for a long time. But this is what I recently just harvested on the GREENSTALK garden tour, and I just wanted to show all of the garlic. So this is between 4 green stalks and 1 raised bed in the back, a couple of buckets that actually didn't really do very well, and then 1 rolling wood bed. Last year they did really good, and I'm very happy with this year's harvest, and I cannot wait to preserve these. Now this is what I'm super excited about. So the last time that I harvested the onions in the GREENSTALK, I was beyond impressed. They were the short day onions. Well, these are the intermediate onions, so these were able to stay in longer, and you can't really see everything because I know the greenery is covering it, and I do know that I cannot keep it this way because it will get moldy. Ideally, it would be good to put through the shelving units, which I may do a couple, and then the other ones I may just chop up and stick in the freezer like I did the last time. But you guys, I want to show you something. I am so giddy and excited about these onions. Look at how, I want you to look at how massive compared to my hand. Look at that. So I measured in the GREENSTALK garden tour, I measured the circumference of, I think it might have been this one. This was the biggest one. And it was just about 16 inches, you guys. I've never in my 4, 5, if you want to count the year back in my home state of Illinois, years of gardening, have I ever grown onions this large. I am so excited, you just don't even know. Like this, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, and I was so excited, and I just couldn't wait to share with you all the onions that I harvested. Of course, they're in the GREENSTALK garden tour harvest. You can see that, I just posted that, but I just had to show you in this garden and harvest tour too, because you know I pass by the GREENSTALKs and I want you guys to see it too if you guys don't watch the GREENSTALK garden tours. So I wanted to share with you. So we have red onions, yellow onions, as well as white onions. Let me see if I can go around here so you can get like another side view of them. And then a lot of them, you know, they're small, medium, super large, and I'm fine with that. So I'll more than likely have a couple for fresh eating, and then I will freeze or chop up the rest and freeze them. Of course, I want to make sure that I am updating you all every week on the dwarf apple trees, and so far so good. I know it's going to take a while, but I figured if I could show you weekly how they're progressing, that it'll help you if you decide that you want to do dwarf size apple trees. I do want to get more, you guys, but I have to make sure I have the space for it. I'm sure I'll always figure out space for stuff, but I'm going to try out these 2 and then see how they go. But I'm liking them so far, and they're very, very pretty against the brick in the black pot. Something I want to show you, I'm not going to focus on the GREENSTALKs, but I zoomed in on these Japanese beetles because man, are they are just, I'm telling you guys, they are just having a fun time in my garden, and really all I can do is just swat them off and get rid of them and just keep an eye on the garden every day. But I want to show you something, a product that I use that may help you if you want to get rid of them. So I have been using this product. Now, it's not the end all be all. What I've noticed with this, and I'm not sponsored by them, it's just a product I like. I do like the brand Captain Jack's. But what I'll do is I'll spray them, and then they almost become like sleepy or docile, and it's easy to just pick them off. Or, you know, at nighttime, they're already kind of like, they get sleepy already, and you can knock them off as well. Now, obviously the best way to get rid of these Japanese beetles is to always come out to your garden, check, and swat them off. But I think between the spray and just checking is good enough. It's just something that I have learned to just deal with, because all bugs and insects have kind of a cycle, and at some point these don't stick around. You can see all the little lacy leaves. They really do some damage. Wait till you see the Kentucky Wonder green beans. They're very lacy, but I've just learned to deal with it and just try to, you know, like I said, take them off or spray them and just keep an eye on the garden as much as possible. Let's go ahead and touch base on all of the grow bags against the retaining wall before we go in the backyard garden. Obviously we have the GREENSTALKs here, but I do separate GREENSTALK garden tours for these, and so I want to make sure that I don't forget about the grow bags against the retaining wall, because I do love grow bags a lot. So the zinnias seem to be doing wonderful. I'm really adoring, I should say, this beautiful fuchsia color. It just brightens up the space, and it just makes me so happy. So those are doing really good. The leeks are clearly not ready, but they're still doing good. The dill is doing good. I'm gonna harvest a little bit of dill while we're down here. And then the ginger and the turmeric are just doing amazing as always. I've always said this, but I think they just do phenomenal in grow bags. I've had nothing but great success. And this has also saved money on my overall grocery budget at the end of the month. It helps a ton. And over here are all of the cucumbers. Now, this right here, as well as these green bags, were my last little bit of snap peas. Unfortunately, and it's expected because we're like in full swing of summertime right now, they're already done. So I'm gonna be pulling these, probably more than likely putting bushing cucumbers in here. And then I will be pulling these and putting bushing cucumbers in here as well. You can see there's some zinnias poking through back there. But these are definitely done. And then again, with the bags in the middle, the small ones, those are just my zinnias, leeks, and dill, and they're all doing really good. But I did want to show you, so a lot of the snacking cucumbers are definitely growing. Not all of them, like I said, the last tour germinated, but so far at least enough of them have, and maybe I can put some more seed in this week, because I don't know about you, but before I travel, it just takes so much out of me that little things like planting some extra seed, I just don't have the time for. But everything is doing really good in here. Now, I don't know what's up with this bag, but the birds sure like to take their dump on my stuff. I don't know why. I'm a little grossed out, but I don't know. What am I gonna do? So these are I'm trying to think which ones these are. I know, oh yeah, the patio snacker cucumber. I actually did have some success, but not as much as I wanted to last year with these, which is why I'm doing them again. I think these bags with the trellises are a perfect size for the bushing cucumbers. I want to quickly add before we go through this whole backyard garden, because it is so beautiful, that as soon as I got home from my trip, I didn't even go inside the house. The very first thing I did was come back here and I checked everything. Well, the first thing I did was check those onions and the green stalks and the driveway. And then I came back here to make sure there was no pest, like insect pressure or insect damage, because I had killed 3 hornworms before I left. And there was, I was having Japanese beetle issues before I left. So I was really concerned leaving my garden behind for almost a week. And that was the first thing I did. But thankfully, everything was fine. I had some rain, which really helped, but I haven't done a whole lot of pruning because I wanted to keep everything untouched to show you guys. But this week I'm definitely going to be in here and I'm going to be pruning and just checking everything very thoroughly and clipping things because the tomato plants have grown so much since I came, since before I left. So there's a lot of work, but I try not to touch as much because I wanted to show you guys. The first thing I want to show you before I start to walk through the entire garden is my little potato patch. So this is definitely for me ready to harvest. I am not sure if I'm going to make, I probably will make actually a separate video on this because this is my first time doing this grow bag situation on top of the pallet. But I did want to quickly give you a little sneak peek because, you know, I can't help myself. I was checking, oh look, there's another one down there. I was checking some of these and I saw some potatoes, so I'm really hoping this method works because I do like how this is set up. So we'll see, but I did want to show you, and we are going to be harvesting this sometime soon. Okay, a bug just went in my eye, of course. But anyway, so let's go over here. Now, these were the zinnias that you can see the Japanese beetles were just having a heyday with. I don't really see them as much, but it's probably because they saw that I had Kentucky Wonder green beans. Okay, sorry, I thought there was a bug in my eyeball, and you guys are very well maybe a bug in my eyeball right now. So anyways, but as I was saying, they may not be over here just because they've been all over my Kentucky Wonders, and they've been all over the strawberry plants and my sweet potatoes. So I don't know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Anyways, look at the color though. Oh my gosh, I am beyond excited with these zinnias. I think they're such a beautiful addition to the garden. I'm loving the colors of this one as well. I'm loving the different shades of oranges and reds. These are doing well. I know that look at that, the dahlias are going to pop anytime. I am very excited about these. But what I am very excited about also are these grapes. Now we are going to harvest a couple of peppers over here, but I wanted to show you the grapes. So when I came back home, these had grown quite a bit. They're already, let's see, start here. They're already up to here now. So you guys, I'm so excited. So this is my first time growing grapes. Here are two different varieties, and I have them in pots on this trellis that we put up. We have two little hanging lights right there, solar lights, super cute at nighttime. And so far, they're really good. You guys, I feel like there's just so much to show you and not enough time, and it's already starting to kind of drizzle. So I may have to keep going, and then when it starts to maybe rain heavy, I'll just take a small break until it stops because there's just so much going on. Look at all that greenery. So now this bed has my sweet peppers, and I planted cosmos with each square and then alyssums at the edges. But there are some gorgeous looking peppers that are ready to harvest. So these are the sweet banana peppers, and these ones we are definitely going to harvest. And then here's some more over here too. These grew really good. I really enjoyed these last year, which is why I wanted to grow them again. And I feel like these grew really fast. It seems like there's a lot of peppers that I probably could just harvest, but this is the I'm probably butchering, mulatto isleno, and I think they're supposed to be red. I'm gonna look these up first before I just start harvesting them, just to make sure, because these are a new variety for me. But there's just, I mean, there's a lot of pepper growth in here. Now, I did use a different soil with added fertilizer in it. I mean, the other one had added fertilizer too, but this one was a little bit different than what I normally use. Oh my goodness, look at that over there. Some of this stuff I haven't seen, so it's the first time I'm seeing it with you guys. Or maybe I did see this one, but the alyssum, I didn't realize how much it was growing. Look at how pretty that alyssum is. Not to take away from you, Pepper, but the flower is just so beautiful. Anyways, this is the Italian pepper, and I remember it needing to be red. So I'm going to hold off on harvesting this, although I would be interested in just, because I think there's some over there too. Maybe I'll leave those on and I'll just take this one off and just try it, especially because there's more flowers and it's still small anyway. So we'll just go ahead and we'll harvest this one too. So here's the Numex Joe Parker, and I believe these are supposed to turn red. Oh my gosh, I honestly did not realize, and I think these are the Jimmy Nardellos. You guys, I did not realize how many peppers I had. Let me see these little guys. Actually, they're not little, they're pretty big. Let me see, I know these are the Jimmy Nardellos, right? Where's the tag? I don't see a tag, but I have a feeling these are, because I remember seeing they kind of scrunch like this. I know they're supposed to be red though. And then there's another one here. Look at that, that is so cool. I am pretty sure, oh, look at you, fell off. Well, I guess we're gonna take you. So I think, I don't know why I don't have a tag. Oh, you know why? I think I know why. Sorry guys, you're just gonna, just like, well, why don't you tell me why? I believe that's because these two are probably the same. Either way, I really do think that's the Jimmy Nardellos, so I'm super excited to see those. Duh, look at you guys, it's written right there, I just couldn't find it. Oh my goodness. Yep, I knew it, those are the Jimmy Nardellos because they kind of scrunch up, and I remember like, oh, that's really cool. But they're supposed to be red, so hopefully the one that fell off will turn red for us. But so far, you guys, this bed is looking really good. Let's go and look at this pepper bed. By the way, I want to point something out to you. If you see all of these, I have so much Tulsi holy basil, and I even have some here as well as a tomato plant. Hold on, let me see. A tomato plant and Tulsi holy basil, just they're literally growing everywhere all over the garden, which I absolutely love, and I'm super excited. All right, I don't know why, but these flies keep flying like right in my eyes and my face. They're so rude. So we got another pepper right here, and then I believe these are serranos. Those definitely look like serranos. And we got the Ancho Grande pepper already growing right here. If those leaves would get out of the way. So that's exciting. Now, okay, yeah, so here's some more Italian peppers. I'm not going to harvest those because I want to see if they turn red. And if for some reason they don't, I can always take them off. Now these I think are ready. These are the Hungarian yellow wax. That's exciting, guys. We also have some Numex lemon jalapenos. These have to wait until they turn yellow. I'm in no hurry for these, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. And then we got some more alyssum over here. Now here's something I do notice. This right here is also peppers. So I did like a whole palette of peppers, and then there's some herbs over here like the lemon balm, as well as ashwagandha and mullein and some St. John's wort and all that. But I'm noticing a lot of bug pressure over here. And I also noticed that I didn't really do any companion planting over here. Now, I do think at some point they'll be okay. But I noticed with these beds, there's very little, if no, bug pressure at all. And I think it's because of the cosmos and the alyssum. It could just be that the soil is doing, you know, really amazing, but I'm really happy to see that at least these two beds don't have a lot of bug pressure. I also did plant some pepper plants kind of sporadically around the garden a little bit, as well as in some of the green stalks, but either way, I'm very happy with what we harvested so far. One of my volunteer plants over here, the lemon balm, is doing absolutely wonderful with these grow bags. I've said it before, but I think they do very well when they are coming out of the edge of a grow bag, or let's say the edge of a bed, just because of the constant moisture and maybe that it gets water. I'm not sure, but this is growing very well. Now, if you guys remember the beautiful kale that was here, so when I came home, of course, there was some bug damage. It was actually a bunch of caterpillars. Now, they didn't get everything. I probably should harvest this, but I'll probably harvest it later this week just because it's raining right now, and I want to make sure that I share the garden with you guys first. But what I did was I just took the leaves off that were not good, and then I came over here with the hose and I hosed everything off. Because I still see some growth in the middle, I'm not calling this a complete, you know, dump where I'm going to rip it out. I still think that I can salvage this. but I did want to share that with you guys because it was so beautiful and lush the last time I showed you. And then the green beans over here are doing very well. I'm looking forward to getting those. And then you guys, look at the trellis. They are almost all the way at the top, and we definitely have some cucumbers to harvest. Now before we do the cucumbers, I did want to show you all the green beans. So they're definitely growing very well. They're doing very good. You can even see some of the onions have been growing even more. They're not ready to harvest because the greenery's sticking right up, so I'm not in a hurry to harvest those. But I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to put anything on the green beans. Last year, I had a bamboo stick for each green bean plant. And while I think that's still a great idea, because I was thinking of other ways to hold these up, and I still may do it. I still haven't made up my mind. But sometimes I would stand on here to either prune or fix something, and I'm like, not that I want to fall, but if I did, falling on bamboo sticks would not be fun. So with that being said, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be doing the bamboo sticks or if I'm just going to let it kind of like do its own thing and just see how they behave. I don't know, maybe they'll just kind of wrap together and form one big green bean hub. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I might just let it do its own thing and see how that goes. But in the meantime, I definitely want to harvest our very first cucumber together. So these are the piccolini F1s, and I'm so excited to be harvesting. You have no idea how much I love these. So we got our very first cucumber, and I think we have 2 more to harvest. So these I think are the Katrinas, or yeah, Katrina. I heard really great things about this actually from Whispering Willow Farms. I think was the first place that I heard about these. And so far, I'm really liking these. This one's a little oddly shaped, but let's take it. So we got our first 2 Katrinas. I am going to harvest this one little piccolini just because it's a small one. So it'd probably be a really good snacking cucumber. Now, something I do want to share with you, this is the Poniente F1. If you remember and you saw the videos last year in my garden tour, these got so long and had the least amount of bug pressure. I was absolutely blown away and impressed. Now, the seeds are not cheap. I'm not gonna, beat around the bush with that. These are expensive seeds, but they were one of the most delicious cucumbers, you guys, I've ever had, which is why I bought some more. We still have a lot more cucumbers. There's just so many little babies, and I'm so excited. This is such a beautiful trellis when it's covered, and I cannot wait till it continues to grow. By the way, I had to switch out my battery, but look at the herb garden, you guys. I did a recent video on just the herbs in my garden and throughout my garden. That's the borage. It's doing really good. I'm sorry for the AC in the background, but it's really hot in the garage, and I need to keep it on for the garlic and the onions. But look at the oregano, you guys. I really should probably harvest some of this. I might actually harvest that today. But everything's growing really good in the bags. I've had some germination, oh, look at the thyme. The thyme is germinated really well, and I think there's more germinating in here that I put seed in. All the rosemary is doing really good. So everything's doing phenomenal. But I just wanted to quickly show you because I was going past it and I thought I'd share with you all. Now here's the other side of all the green beans on the other side of the trellis. Everything's growing really good. Now, as I shared before, I have a lot of varieties of bush green beans, and these are all bush green beans, by the way. My vining ones are over on the other trellis, but I did some of the same varieties as I've done before, and then some are new varieties, and I'm looking forward to trying the new varieties. Oh, look at this one's flowering. This onion or shallot. Oh, this is a shallot. Now, I've never grown shallots before, so this is my first time, so this is probably overdue. I will be cleaning some of this up. Actually, wait, that's Actually, that belongs to this one. Anyways, I will be doing some cleaning up in the next week. I'm not really sure exactly how I'm going to go about doing this, but there will be some cleaning up. Either way, I'm really happy with the bush green beans. The bush green beans and the cucumbers always do amazing in this bed. Now, I still have this cucumber growing on the ground, you guys, and I'm not touching it. So if I get some cucumbers on this, I will be pleasantly and happily surprised. And I forgot to show you, there's a tomato plant growing over here. I have no idea which tomato it is until the tomatoes start to grow, but look at it, it's just growing right under this pot. And okay, that's a tomato plant too. These are my chamomile pots. All right, well, I'll just leave you there for now because I don't have time to deal with that. But I do want to show you, I'm going to give you updates on all of these volunteer plants that are growing in the ground. Now for all of the tomatoes over here. Everything, you guys, is growing really good. So this bed I had planted shortly before I left, and you can see that they've already grown a lot since I clipped them. I need to come out here and clip. I don't think I need to do too much pruning, but these do need my attention, but they are growing really good. I'm still really liking these very thick bamboo sticks. So if you're new to my channel, I have a bunch of bamboo sticks. I didn't have time to put cattle panels in. I was hoping to do that in these beds, so I went ahead and I got some bamboo sticks. Now these are thicker than the ones that I've had for a really long time, and I really do like these, but I have really fallen in love with these ones. I think these are better. They're harder to clip with clips, but I just feel like these are much more sturdier. And quite frankly, if I need to get more, those are going to be the ones that I get. This beautiful bed is actually, I want to say this was the one that I had found, or the other bed was the one that I had found those hornworms in. But thankfully when I got home, you guys, there wasn't any hornworm issues. But look at all the, this is the Martina Roma. That's what I meant to say, Martina Roma, but look at all the tomatoes, you guys. I am beyond excited. Now, I do need to come in here and prune. If you saw the last time, they were pruned pretty good, but I do need to prune because you can see some of the leaves are looking a little not so good. I did prune a couple. Oh, look at, there's more tomatoes right there. So these are growing so good. I'm so excited, you guys, to have these. These are the joy of my garden, is my tomatoes. So these are the Martina Romas, the mammoth basil. Look, it already grew back from the last time we harvested. I'm not going to harvest any right now. There's another Tulsi Holy basil volunteer plant. They're everywhere, you guys, but I'm not complaining. And then I do want to show you what these Japanese beetles. So I'm sure you can see all those lacy leaves, and they're still on there. So again, I just come over here, I shake it off. I'll spray it. Sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't, but there has been new leaf growth, and I know that, I mean, the Kentucky wonders, I know it's kind of hard to see. I'm not sure if you can see them. They are growing. I'm not overly concerned, but I do want to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on them because, like I said, they really can eat everything up in a matter of hours. So now this bed over here are the San Marzanos, and this is just wild. I definitely need to prune. There's a lot of tomatoes in here as well. There's some growing right here. Nothing ready to harvest. Let me see if I can, yeah, there's a bunch of tomatoes up there. You can't really see it because everything is super green. There's no red tomatoes yet, but everything is growing really good. I just have to prune and clip some of the stems up. Now, I haven't shared this that much, but I have echinacea in these bags, and these are actually 1 gallon. Let me see, are these? Yeah, I think these are 1 gallon grow bags. I just had extra, so I'm kind of playing around with these to see how well they do. And then I actually had some, what is it? Hamburg rooted parsley. I did 1 grow bag with a couple, and then 1 with just 1. I know they kind of grow like a carrot, but I'm kind of experimenting. I've never grown them before, but so far, you guys, they're looking really good. So we'll see what happens. This bed, just like this other bed, is somewhat, was one of my last beds of tomatoes that I planted. And again, these are doing really well too. I just have to clip these and prune these because I've been gone for a week. But I'm really happy to see that there's no insect pressure. Wait till we go over there. This one kind of exploded over here just like these two did, but I'm really overall happy, and I'm actually glad that it worked out. And I think I said this before, but I'm glad that it worked out where I had to plant this one and this one later, because to harvest all of this all at one time would probably be very overwhelming. I already know that I'm going to be overwhelmed with tomatoes at one point, which is fine, but I think the fact that I planted these later is going to help me. Now, these grow bags, these are all bush tomatoes, and they are growing like crazy. Look at all those flowers. Now these are plum, I'm very excited, but these are plum tomatoes and they're bushing. So I don't know. I don't have any tomatoes to harvest yet, but I'm so far liking this a whole lot better than what I had here last year, because the cherry tomatoes that grew crazy and wild and were like, seemed like 12 feet tall just was too much for me to take care of. And so I figured that this would be a better option, and so far I'm glad I did. So here's the other side. I actually had to go around because, you guys, do you remember this volunteer tomato plant that's growing out of the ground? Look at how crazy big. So when I came home, this was actually bent over because there was a bit of a storm, and I just can't get over how big this has gotten. So there's one, let's see, we've got the main stem right here. We've got 1, 2, 3. You can see those tomatoes right there. I'm really impressed, and so I came over here with the jute twine and I tied it up a little bit more, and we'll see, you guys. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. The straw is still there, keeping the moisture in, and this is looking really good. So very cool. Now, as I'm down here, you can see there's actually some tomatoes growing right here, and there's some like right here and here, and right, let me see, right there. So they're definitely growing, and there's a lot. I do see a lot of flowers. I do see a lot of tomato starts. So I'm thinking in the next week or two, we'll be harvesting quite a bit of them. Now, this little beauty over here, I've had comments saying some of the things that I should plant in here, and I'm definitely going to be doing that because I haven't planted them yet. Now that I'm home, I did go ahead and put some basil in though, because I had leftover starts. So I think I did, let's see, I did 3 basil over on the top. I think I did like 3 basil each tier. And then I have 3 spots each tier to plant something. So I'm glad that you guys threw your suggestions, because I'm definitely going to be planting some stuff here in the next couple of weeks, or in the next week or so. But I'm really excited to have this back here. And then if you guys remember, this was a separate video on how to plant or to use the trellises in the grow bags. And I'm experimenting with a bunch of tomato plants as well as the basil. And look at how much this has exploded. I gotta be careful in this grass. We haven't mowed yet, and I don't need to be stepping on any snakes. But look at how well this is growing. So I do need to obviously I gotta prune and clip everything back here, but this definitely needs it because it's starting, you know, it's sticking out here. But we are getting some flowers, so I'm very happy to see that. Now these are as well bushing. I don't have the indeterminate tomatoes in here because it just would be a hot mess. And then the tomatoes, the peppers are doing good. So far, so good. We'll see once they actually start to grow. But if you're new, I had stuck, I want to say about 10 pepper plants in here. They're about a few inches space between each other, but I mean, they're growing, you guys, and I see a couple of buds, so we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And then these tomato plants are doing so good, you guys. I'm so excited. So these are more of the like sandwich tomatoes. You can see they're a little bit more rounder here. And there are some new varieties in here. I'm looking forward to trying them. I know I did a lot of Abe Lincolns. Those are growing kind of weird looking. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's a variety. I'd have to look for it, but it's raining and I want to make sure that I show you guys everything first. But I'm seeing tomatoes and I'm really happy. I'm seeing a lot of flowers, especially like up there. I don't know if you can see all those. Oh my goodness. There's some here and here and here. They're everywhere. Look at that. Very, very pretty. I think this rain is going to stop, you guys. Hopefully it does. Okay, you know what? Here they are. So this is Amish paste. So these are the paste tomatoes. So yeah, I'm sorry. That's why they're looking like that. Maybe these are a little bit more rounder because those are, well, those are blush tomatoes. So maybe they're supposed to look like that. I've never grown blush tomatoes. But I'm really happy that they're growing as tall as they are. Now last year I had tomatoes in here and they really did not do good. They just didn't do good. Now I don't know if it's because it was a newer bed and the soil was not established. Even though I put good soil and compost in there, it could be that, and it's going on its second year, but either way, I'm seeing tomatoes and that makes me very happy. And this bed also next to it was one of the beds that I had planted right before the last two that I showed you over there, and so far these are doing really good too. We are seeing a couple of tomatoes over here. Now these are more of the sandwich kind of tomatoes. So I want to say, yeah, so these are Sunray cherry, okay, look at that. I put the wrong one in here. This is sometimes what I do is I'll reuse markers. This says the cherry bell radish. I'm like, that's not a radish. I forgot to flip it back over. This is a money maker. So we have like money maker, gold medal, Marion tomato, if I'm saying that correctly, Abe Lincoln, Old German. We have Amana, and Martha F1. So we have a bunch of different tomatoes in here and everything's looking good. Now I will say I was a bit concerned when I left that either I was going to get a bunch of hornworms or disease just because it's very humid right now. And so far, not too much is showing disease, but I do need to prune soon because it could develop just so that it can breathe. What I've learned being here in the south is that with the humidity, it's good to have your plants pruned, not too much pruned, but pruned enough where it can breathe. Now, these pallets back here are also doing very good. I feel like I'm just being very redundant now, but these are also all tomatoes and basil. If you can tell by now that I'm growing a lot of tomatoes, my hope is to make as much spaghetti sauce and tomato sauce as possible, and for fresh eating, because there's also a meal that I like to freeze and make like a chicken thigh with cut up tomatoes and basil with seasoning and some olive oil, and I'll freeze it and then take it out for a meal, and I'll just make rice as a side, and it's really delicious. So I'm trying to grow as many tomatoes as possible. So I want to say, yeah, so this whole palette is like sandwich tomatoes, the Abe Lincolns and so forth, and then these are the plum tomatoes as well. Now these might get a little wild. I'm prepared for it, but so far they're doing pretty good. I do have a feeling they're gonna get really tall, which is why I put some pretty tall bamboo sticks in here. But I guess we'll see as the season goes. But we do have some tomatoes growing, and hopefully, like I said, we'll be harvesting some soon. Now I did wanna show you the watermelons real quick because I feel like they're just growing really, really well for me. I came home and I saw this. I can't tell you how excited I was. I was beyond excited. Look, there's another one too right here. So you guys, look, there's another one right here. So I've always had a hard time growing, I want to say tomatoes, right? Because I keep talking about tomatoes so much, you guys. I've always had a hard time growing watermelons. And so this year I want to say I'm pretty much doing different varieties. There might be one that I'm retrying, but these are all different varieties, and you know, they're growing, and my hope is to get at least one watermelon, because there's just nothing like a homegrown watermelon. Now I do need to come in here and kind of train the vines up here. Here's my hope, because I have this trellis that my hubby made. My hope is for them to vine over and then maybe go out the aisle, like down that way. I don't mind if they're on the ground. I know it would kind of take up some of my walking space, like my pathway, but I do have another pathway on the other side, so it's not like I'm at a complete loss. But that's what I was going to do. Originally, I was going to have them vine out this way, but then my husband had this beautiful trellis idea, so I had to rethink where the watermelons were going to go. And so that's my hope. Now this one's vining out, and I may let that vine underneath there. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but either way, the progress of these are making me really happy. And I thought it would be worth telling you the varieties that I have. So we have the orange glow watermelon, which is the one that it seems to be growing the best. I'm getting a lot of little watermelons already. And then the next one is Jubilee. And then this one is the Congo watermelon. And then we have the Black Diamond watermelon, which I believe the Black Diamond and this one, which is a Royal Golden watermelon, I think, yes, those two I got from Azure. Actually, one of the customer service reps told me about these two because she grew them. This one actually grows almost like a pumpkin, like it looks like a pumpkin. And she said that she's had really good success with it. So I'm growing these two. This one so far is looking really good. This one's looking good, but it's looking a little gallow too. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm hoping these new varieties will give me watermelons. And if they do, these will be my go-tos every year. Before I go to the back and I show you the pallets and that trellis over there, I do want to keep showing you the progress of this new trellis that I have over here. So if you're new, for those that are not new, I know this is very redundant, but I have grown cherry tomatoes in bags with just bamboo sticks, or if you can see those green little triangle trellises, and not that they were entirely bad, but I felt like they got really messy. So I had the idea of using this trellis because I had seen this on Amazon, and I think it's the garden supply store or something. I really do like the company. And it's kind of like an accordion kind of trifold. I forgot how you call it. You can see, hopefully you can see it from this angle. But it's like a zigzag. And I had the idea of putting bags near each kind of panel and corner. And what I did was I planted a bunch of different varieties of cherry tomatoes on this side as well as the other side, because I always like to cover all areas of whatever I'm growing. And so far, you guys, I think it's going really well. So the idea is for it to trellis up, and then if I have to try to train it back down, that's my hope. Otherwise, if it just flops over, I'm fine with it. It's its own section for cherry tomatoes. And I'm seeing not only so many buds, but I'm also seeing little tomatoes. Now, the only problem with videotaping over here or showing you this is that everything in this background is competing for the lens. Like, hey, look at me, especially those pretty little sunflowers back there. So I'm sorry if it gets blurry, but we do have some cherry tomatoes that I want to harvest with you guys. And I think these are the Mexico midgets. So I'm so excited to harvest. Now, they're not completely red. Sorry, let me get that focused. But it's okay. I'll have them ripe inside. So let's go ahead and harvest our first cherry tomatoes for the season. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys. Look how beautiful that is. Very pretty. And when it comes to cherry tomatoes, I try not to prune too much, but if I see something like, for instance, something that looks like this, I will for sure, let me see, I'll take that off. You know, I won't leave that on there, but I try not to prune heavy just because cherry tomatoes are, I don't really think they're meant to prune super heavy like other ones. So that's what I try not to do, is prune too much with the cherry tomatoes. And all the basil is doing very good too, which is a great companion plant. And then here's the back side, because I had shared that I also planted a few grow bags. Now these grow bags, I believe, are the 2 gallons. And let me make sure. Yeah, these are, wait a second, is that 2 or 3? Yeah, that's 2 gallons, sorry. It's already wearing off, even though I just bought this, probably because of the weather and the water and the heat and stuff. But I planted 1 tomato plant. I think most of them just have 1. There might be 2 and like 2 of them. But anyways, I planted them in the back to cover the back. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on back here. So far, these bags are growing really good. These are cantaloupes. There's different varieties. I see a lot of flowers. I see growth, but I don't actually see a cantaloupe yet, or maybe I just didn't find it yet. And then these are the green beans. So whatever is not a cantaloupe, I had planted bushing green beans, the Antigua, one of my favorite go-to green beans. But you can see, guys, there's been some like pest pressure here. This one didn't even germinate, so I'm gonna have to pull that out and regrow those 2. This one's doing really good, and so are these. Now I think, did I put 2? Yeah, I did put 2 in there. Now this one didn't even germinate, so like I'll come back and I'll just come and replant some seed. And here's the other two varieties of cantaloupe, and those are doing very good. And then, oh, look it did germinate. Okay, so I had put 3 bushing green beans in here, and I didn't know if that one was going to germinate, but it did. So these 2 are doing good, and that one is doing well. And then I do have one more cantaloupe that a friend of mine gave me. I'm not really sure the variety. It's not looking the healthiest, but the end of it is. So we'll see how it goes. I have some onions that are still in here, and actually, because I haven't really looked at these in a little while, but these were a lot smaller the last time I had looked at them, which means these are growing really well. So maybe we'll have some onions out of this grow bag as well. So that's cool. And then my last and only overwinter pepper plant that survived is still doing very good. I'm not going to harvest these yet, but these are the poblano peppers, and they're growing really well. So I'm not really sure what happened to the other overwinter pepper plants, but this one's doing good, which makes me happy. And then I also have more tomatoes, surprise, surprise, that's growing on this pallet. So this is my whole aisle of pallets. If you're new to my garden or new to my channel, I have a bunch of pallets back here, and I got a little nice aisle here, and I have a little nice aisle here, and then I try to have aisles in between so that I always have a way to walk around things. Even like right here, I'll have a pathway. It's really important for me to be able to walk through and maneuver throughout my garden. But with that being said, I have pallets back here, and I've really enjoyed having these pallets back here because it gets a perfect amount of sun and shade. And so what I did was I planted 2 tomato pallets, minus that one that had a little bit of lettuce and calendula left. And then the rest of them I pretty much left, and I've already harvested, which I think I may need to harvest again soon. But I have Swiss chard, which I'll show you in just a second, and some lettuces left over. And then the ones that didn't do good, I planted some squash and some pumpkin, and they are doing really good so far. But with these back here, I'm happy to see that they are starting to grow some tomatoes, and hopefully we'll be harvesting. Now, I did a lot of these trellises back here, and then I feel like I'm getting bit, so I'm sorry if I'm moving the camera around because the back of my leg is itching and I'm very close to the wood, so that's probably why. But I did a lot of like making these little, not a teepee, but I'll take 3 bamboo sticks and I will tie them together to kind of make a little 3-way trellis for them, so that way the tomato plants can grow to each one and just give it support. So I did a lot of that back here, and so far it's been working very well. And then these are doing very good too. The dill back here is doing really good as a companion plant. I'm very happy to see that. And then I want to say I had some borage back here. Let's go take a look at the borage. Oh, look at all those. They're going to bloom soon. Look at all the borage flowers that are going to bloom hopefully soon. Without the background, it is so hard to film with the woods back here. I mean, it's really pretty back here. It's very peaceful back here. I love it. But sometimes when I'm filming, it's really difficult because it's grabbing its attention from the camera and I can't focus on the plants too much. Now, here are some of the pepper plants that I had mentioned that I, stuck in some spots. You can see there's a lot of pest pressure. Not really sure why. I have a good feeling. Well, little guy, I see you there, buddy. What you doing there, snail? I'm sorry, sweetheart. You can't stay here, okay? I'm so sorry. I gotta get you off. Come here, buddy. Sorry, you guys, sometimes I talk to them like they're my kids or something. Anyways, but that's probably why. I mean, listen, it's expected. I don't get overly, frustrated or anything. Sometimes it's just for a couple weeks and then I feel like they go away and then they come back and they do good. So I'm not super concerned. I do have another pepper plant back there as well, and it's doing really good. And see, I wanted to show this to you because this is a Napa cabbage. You guys, when I tell you I've had such a hard time growing Napa cabbage, it has been so difficult. And hello, little friends. You guys are just not, look at them. Hey, buddy. I know. I have to take you off. I'm so sorry. I know, buddy. I'm sorry, and you too. I know you guys are probably having a little cabbage party, but I can't have you in there. Sorry. But you guys look at it's kind of forming, so I don't know. We'll see if we'll see if I get anything. I'm not touching it. I don't need to take it out, so I'm gonna see what happens with that. But I still do have some lettuce. Now this is probably definitely going to flower on me because it's whenever it does this, it's not good. Now if the leaves don't taste bitter, I will totally take them off and I will eat them. But if they're bitter, I'm going to probably rip this out and I will stick a squash in here. So the ones that I do have squash, I have one here and they've all germinated. They're all doing really, really good. There's one right here. Now this one didn't. This is the hybrid Spineless Beauty, so I'll have to reseed that one. And I don't think I'm doing more than 1 or maybe 2 seeds because some of the hybrids are more expensive than just regular seed. But some of these lettuces are still going, you guys, especially this red sales. I just want to show you. Well, now I know what you are. You are definitely not my friend. You see them? That is, I'm going blank, you guys. You're probably like saying the name of it as you're watching the video right now. A stink bug. There you go. Yeah, you are definitely not welcome, dude. So you gotta go. I'm probably gonna flick you because I have a camera in my hand and I can't really kill you. So I'm just gonna take you off, and that's the best I can do right now. You're fortunate I'm filming. Anyways, so here's the red sales. I am truly impressed with this lettuce. I think I've said it several times because even though it's been really hot, it's growing very lush. I have a feeling that those leaves are not bitter. If they are, I'll rip them out and put something else. But I have a feeling that they're still, look at, they're even over here too. I have a feeling they're going to be really good. So I'll probably be harvesting these later in the week for, I don't know, a dinner or a side salad. One thing I do want to point out is this Italian dandelion is surprising me because, first of all, this isn't flowering. And what most people would, consider a weed, which, I mean, it actually is very edible. And it gives such good color to the salad. But this is definitely impressing me because if this doesn't flower and this grows throughout the summer, this is going to be not only a go-to spring veggie to grow, but it's also going to be a summer veggie I'm going to grow too. There's the pumpkin plants. They're doing pretty good. Now I know it's late, so whatever we get, and I'll be happy with it. Then there's some more squash that germinated, and then you guys look at all, I'll come back to the trellis, but I'm gonna show you these last 3 pallets because most of this is the Swiss chard. Now that's lavender. Sorry, I was going blank there for a second. So that's lavender. And then there's the mullein. It keeps growing. Now, you know what's funny? I saw on Facebook, there was a guy that had a picture. We were standing next to the mullein, and it was actually, I think, as tall as him, if not taller. I had no idea that they got really tall, but I'm going to see how tall this gets. I know the top looks gorgeous. It looks like a beautiful little flower, but I want to see how tall this gets. So I'll have to remember to try to show you guys every week to see if it has grown even more. But you can see, you guys, the Swiss chard is growing and it looks like it can be harvested again. Now I'm not going to harvest it right now, but the fact that it's still there makes me happy. And then you can see over here it has like a lot of little baby leaves, which I like those too. So I'm pretty happy. I'm really liking these back here. Then we have the kale plant. I don't know if I need to pluck that, but we'll see what happens. I might just keep that there. I'm not sure. Let me show you these because these are doing really good too over here. Look at those leaves. Now I did cut the ones that I did harvest from here and over there. I just cut them into very small pieces and put them in the freezer in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll be throwing them, I'll just throw them into dinners or, stews or even soups or even just some ground meat for extra nutrition. Because they're chopped up, I'll just throw them in there and then add some onion and garlic. And these sweet potatoes are doing really good too. So this is new. I kind of like what I did here. So my land, it's sloped, so it's not even like anywhere back here at all, which I'm still getting used to because coming from Illinois, there's not that there's no bumpiness to their ground, but it's mostly flat. So I'm still getting used to this incline with the land and it not being flat. But I've learned to improvise and take rocks off of off our property and in the woods to try to level it. And I just really love what I did here. But I love that the sweet potatoes are doing very good here. My hope is that these also will just vine out because they are pretty when they do vine out. And I'm hoping to get a really large sweet potato harvest. So I have these here. And then I also have 2 green stalks full of sweet potatoes. And then of course my yellow green stalks. So I'm hoping this week, now that we're back, that the hubby can sturdy this, because even though it looks flat right here, it's really not. And when I had all of them stacked, it was actually kind of leaning a bit and it was making me really concerned, which is why the 2 are still on the ground. So we still have to do that. But I did put a couple of basils in here and I will be planting some seed in this week. Now for this last little bit of the garden, the new trellis that my hubby built, you know, I love my entire garden. I really do. My husband has worked really hard to put a lot of this together, but this is so much fun to me, maybe because it's newer, but I just love it. And I'm excited to see everything grow on this trellis, especially all the cucumbers, the gourds, and the loofahs. So let me show you everything that's been going on. We'll start from here and then we'll go over there. All of these over here are bushing tomatoes with some basil. So we have some dwarf basil here. I do have some Tulsi holy basil, but look at the little tiny Tims. So tiny Tims are one of my favorite, probably most favorite dwarf sized tomatoes. I think I shared that the last tour. They don't grow very tall, as you can see, and they do give you an abundance of tomatoes. Wait till you see all of them bloom. So you can see right there, there's just even, hold on, let me see. This camera does not want to focus today. It's probably because of the way the weather is. But look at all those little tomatoes so far, and there's still a bunch of flowers. They're one of the best I think I've ever grown as far as dwarf-sized tomatoes, like dwarf-sized plants too. They're one of my favorites. And then the rest of these are just bushing determinate tomatoes. And I did put some bamboo sticks like I shared last time for some support. I do need to clip these up a little bit more. And then I also need to come in here and prune. Like for instance, this right here, this needs to go. Like this needs to go. I love pruning, you guys. It's like one of my favorite things to do. It's almost therapeutic. Anyways, so these are doing really well. And then I can't wait to show you the gourds. I probably need to take these leaves off because that's not looking too hot. But the loofahs are doing really good. I don't know if you can see how high the loofahs have gotten. Now I don't see any buds for anything, but so far they're growing really good in the bucket. So I have 4 of those, and then the rest are all tomatoes, except for the gourd and the 4 loofahs. So here's another glimpse at the loofah plants that are on the side of the trellis, and they're just very happily grabbing onto the trellis, which makes me happy. But you guys, I am very happy to say I finally have 2 gourds, 1 and 2 that are growing, and there might be more. I can't see them. They're probably very small, but I've never grown these before, and I am beyond excited for these to grow. And this one right here is a spaghetti squash. So far so good. We'll see how that grows. I did have success the first time I grew them, but not a ton. So I'm hoping that I get some spaghetti squash from that. And then these are all the other cucumbers that we planted. Look at how much those have blossomed since the last tour. And I want to say every single one of these are different varieties. And like I said, my hope is for them to grow on this side while the other ones grow on the other half. And then the rest of these, except for this one, this was the squash. Let me see, do I have any? No. So, you know, my problem with squashes, I feel like not only do I have vine borer issues, but I just always have flowers that grow. I don't really have fruit that grows too much, and I'm not really sure why, but I don't think squash likes me very much. I have grown squash in the past, but I have not really had great success with squash, but I'm not giving up because that's just not who I am. Now, the tomatoes, on the other hand, are doing really good. This lemon balm just is taking over that bucket and it's doing really good. And then all of the yucca is doing really good too. As I've shared in the previous video, see like this one This one's a jicama, and that's not looking good. So I might have to replant a couple of these. The funny thing about jicama is that sometimes it'll seem like there's no way that it's going to produce something, and then you take it out and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And so that's the fun thing about jicama. But some of these I do need to replant because they just don't look like they made it, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. But the rest of the tomato plants are doing good. I just have to clip, see, because they're going to fall over. I have to clip them right there. You know, sometimes I just want to focus on clipping and pruning. It's hard. I love coming out here and then going from like bed to bed or pallet to pallet and just prune and clip. And when I'm done, I feel so much better. I did forget to share the bags, but as we walk to the chair to look at the final harvest, I will just show you some of these tomatoes. I'm pretty sure this is the Martha F ones, right? Let me see. Yep, these are Martha F ones. One of my favorite tomatoes. I think they do amazing. But these are all doing very, very well. And these bags, which I believe are 25-gallon grow bags, I put the triangle tomato cage, and I like this combination as well. I think it does really well, and I think they're pretty sturdy. Now they almost kind of seem a little bit unlevel, but I think it's expected because of the way the ground is and how uneven it is, which is fine. It's not a huge deal to me, but I do like having the tomatoes in here. Now, something I do want to share, I don't think I've shared this, I might have shared it once before, but I had a cilantro plant growing out of here, and you can see all the little bulbs, which actually they're little corianders. And so I'm just going to let that fall to the ground and hopefully have some cilantro growing here next time. But I did want to show that to you because this is another volunteer that I've really enjoyed having, and I think I see slugs on it. They're like everywhere. Oh my goodness. You see them? I don't know if you can see them. Go ahead, you guys, you can have at it. It's fine. Anyway, so I just wanted to show this to you because I think these are doing exceptionally well. I'm a big fan of grow bags. I think they do very well. I find them to be cost effective, which is why I have a ton of grow bags. Obviously, the raised beds are definitely an investment, which is why I only have a couple. I also don't really have the room for more. I mean, I could, but I'm not. Anyways, I'm just now talking out loud. But I do love some grow bags, and I do love my buckets because the buckets did not cost me anything. I got that from the store over at the bakery section for their frosting, and I really love growing out of them. I think they do exceptionally well, especially with tomatoes, especially with jicama, and as you can see, some other things that are growing over there. All right, friends, let's go ahead and see what we harvested together today. So we finally got ourselves some cucumbers and some peppers. I am so elated. I'm gonna stop saying excited because I always say that. But I am elated. I'm so happy, full of joy that we are finally harvesting some cucumbers. So we got 4 cucumbers today and some peppers. I'm looking forward to harvesting peppers. And then of course we got our first 2 little cherry tomatoes. See, here we go. It wants to zoom on my face, which is good, but I had to put it in front of my face in order for you to see the tomatoes. But we got ourselves our first cherry tomatoes, and then of course some dill. I have been freeze drying this just to kind of save it as I get it, because dill's kind of a hit or miss. Sometimes it flowers quickly on me here. But overall, I am super excited with the harvest, and I cannot wait, you guys, until we start harvesting a bunch of tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers. Hopefully this won't even fit it all and I'll have to bust out the wagon again. But overall, I am so happy with the harvest today. So friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I really look forward to seeing you guys again. And always remember, friends, be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.